So, yeah. So, I mean, that's how this whole show started. Was from a. It's all your fault. You and that damn TikTok.
No, it's not me.
Oh yeah, it all started with a damn TikTok video. This whole show started with because of a TikTok video,
They
and
looked
I'm going to
interesting
show you.
to
And I
me.
have the video to prove it. Okay.
It looked interesting to me, so I was like, you know what? This looks too interesting, too funny, too weird,
Well,
too
it's very
coincidental.
interesting. It's funny because I found. Well, I'm not going to tip the hat. I'll tell everybody
Mhm,
when we get
mhm,
on.
right.
But it's interesting that
Mhm,
a lot of people are kind of the same mind that we are.
mhm.
That there's more to this than just because some people think it's just like trickery.
The way these things looked in
I
this
don't
one
think so. I'm pretty good at the trickery stuff.
picture that I saw that we're gonna be talking about soon, it looked too real to me, and I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Something's going on here, and I had to
Well,
bring it to your
yeah, and we're gonna
attention.
find out what the hell it is. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So how was your day today?
It was one of those days where she just it was a manager
Yeah.
from hell day, actually. I think it's just I don't know. I just feel like, you know, when you
I'm
feel like
sorry.
that when they're against you and they're wanting to find something, and I don't know. I think,
Don't you know that the world is full of Karens and Kennys?
oh, she's big Karen number one. I think they're taking a book from her chapter, or a chapter from her book, I should say, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I I don't know if they're both on their period or something.
Yeah, you know what? We need to do a show one night about what's in the water. Let's call it "What's in the Water."
Something,
And
because I
we
don't
need to
want
show all these videos where people are flipping out, like, because that's what I always say. What are they drinking?
what they're
You know,
drinking, but
what's in their water?
they need to drink what I'm drinking. Is happiness and be cheerful and not be and be a buddy,
Yes.
not a
You know
bully
what
still.
happiness is?
Mhm.
Happiness is a cup of coffee.
Mhm. And
That's
be
the
a
nectar.
buddy, not a bully.
As the old man used to say, it was the nectar of the gods.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
listen, you want to do this?
Yes, let's do it.
Let's do this thing.
You'll have to walk with me, young man. I have another class. What's your name?
Collier, sir. Richard Collier.
Student?
Yes, I was 9 years ago.
Well, I try to make my classes interesting, but 9 years. What can I do for you?
I have a question for you, sir.
Shoot.
Is time travel possible?
That is a question.
And that is the question. Is
Mhm.
time travel possible? Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by the mouth of the South herself, Amelia the Pitbull Chapman. And on this fabulous manic Monday, well, not quite so manic Monday, we are bringing you a subject that we found actually, well, Amelia found it on a TikTok video about time traveling. And I laughed when I saw it, but I thought to myself, well, you know what? The more I looked at it, the more it became quite interesting. I'm going to show everybody,
Mhm.
Amelia,
Mhm.
before we get started talking, you and I,
Mhm.
about the video that I'm talking about. So let
Yes.
us take a look at a TikTok video.
Yes.
You ever heard the creepiest conspiracy theory that a lot of celebrities have been on this planet for a lot longer than you think and have lived multiple lives? The theory goes that people in the past who garnered enough money, fame, or status were given the opportunity to be inducted into the Illuminati or the New World Order and have their DNA and memory extracted before they died and then saved so they can make clones of them and live over and over again. Others say vampires or time travelers, but the most popular theory is the multiple lives theory. Now let's take a look at some examples. First is Mark Zuckerberg, who looks like the old king of Spain, and Portugal, who would definitely have the means to clone himself.
And we're going to stop right there because we got a whole bunch of examples to show ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to tip the hat. Plus, I got my own work to do. I don't want that guy doing my shit for me.
Exactly.
So now, the idea of time travel is not a new one.
Mm-mm.
What is new is that the young kid mentioned
Mm-hmm.
is that there's a new level being added onto the whole time travel thing. The multiple lives of, certain celebrities that seem to, according to him,
Mm-hmm.
that seem to live over and multiple
And over.
and over
Mhm.
again. And I don't know. I'm still out on that one. By the end of the show, I might change my mind, but right now I'm still the jury's out on that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, because I'm not like. What do you think about that? Where's your head at on it?
They like he said, you have to have the money, the power, a little bit extra put away to be able to do something like this. And if you
Does at this point in the game, does money and power really mean anything, or is it, what if you're like not? How do I understand? Let's say, just for example, let's say, in another life, Amelia Chapman was Queen Isabella. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you find a picture of Queen Isabella that looks like you, well, then maybe we can make some kind of argument that maybe there's some DNA connection along. But then again, we can just say, well, there's somebody that looks like you.
Right. And then that would mean that I would have to have a strong talk with the man upstairs and say, okay, I'm sorry for what I did. If I gave my soul, can I ungive it and
Now
please
wait
apologize?
a minute. Hold on a second. Let me pull you out of that rut. Hold on.
No, I mean, that to me, that tells another story. That
Wait a
opens
minute.
another door.
You don't know where I'm going with this. It can tell another story, but however,
Mhm.
what if morality has nothing to do with this? Let's say you're a good, honest Christian person,
Mhm.
and Queen Isabella just happens to look a lot like you.
That could be true. That could be my.
Okay, all right. So that you're making my points for me.
Mhm.
So here's where I'm going with this. I need pretend I'm from Missouri and show me.
Mhm.
I'm from the show me state tonight. Here's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm a conspiracy guy. I love a
Right.
conspiracy. And I'm also into, the bizarre, the macabre. I'm into time
unusual.
travel. I'm the
Mhm.
unusual. I'm
Right.
into that because I live this shit.
Mhm.
No, for real. People who
Right.
know me
No,
know.
so do
You've
I.
known me long enough to know that I live
Mhm.
this stuff. Okay.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
here's what I'm saying to people. We have some really compelling information to share tonight.
Yes.
Some of this is a little odd, a little bizarre, a little, shall we say, strange.
Yes. Very.
I'm going to do this for the sake of posterity, only because there are people who have made a life study of this subject,
Right.
and who believe that among them, Nikola Tesla,
Mhm.
Albert Einstein,
Right.
people like we're talking about, like, Stephen Hawking's, Elon
Mhm.
Musk,
Yes.
people who are like pretty fucking smart people,
Mhm.
really smart people who shaped our lives. I think you would have to say, hands down, Albert Einstein
Mhm.
would be like right up there on the
Mhm.
list.
Right.
Wouldn't it be remarkable? I mean, let's think about, Amelia. We talked
Mhm.
about this before. The
Yes.
Philadelphia experiment.
Mhm.
Okay. Not only time travel, but dimension travel,
Yes.
space travel. interdimensional travel.
Hmm.
Einstein was like freaky smart, like
Oh,
like
absolutely. He
weird
was.
smart. That guy's brain was,
Hmm.
and his brain, by the way, is in Philadelphia.
Hmm.
People don't know that, but it is. It's
Yeah.
not in the Smithsonian like people think. It's
Hmm.
at the Mutter Museum in Philadelphia. It's a medical museum.
Yeah, people, they have been trying to figure this mystery out for years. Could it be something that is possible, or could that be your person that you actually look like? Because they say that we do have somebody that we do look alike.
Well, let's take a look at this.
Hmm.
Let's watch. Look at this. Now, this is, we can stop this anywhere we want. By the way.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, we're looking at, for those of you listening on radio,
Hmm.
we're looking at 8 celebrities.
Hmm.
Johnny Depp, David Schwimmer, Eddie Murphy, and Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. Uh-huh.
Now, in 4 of these cases,
Hmm.
okay, in 4 of these
Mhm.
cases, the man who looks like Johnny Depp, he's
Yep.
a scientist.
Yes.
The guy who looks like David Schwimmer, he's a doctor.
Doctor. Hmm.
The guy that looks like Eddie Murphy was a preacher.
Sure. Hmm.
And the person that looks like Jennifer Lawrence
Was
is
Egyptian actress.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Well, actually,
El-
they said she
is-
was an
oh.
Egyptian actress.
No, that's Elizabeth Taylor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But that's what I'm saying to you. Look,
Hmm.
well, let's take a look again at
Hmm.
more. This is just the tip of the iceberg.
And people that they look as identical. I mean, you would not believe.
Right. Look at the people. We're looking at a number of people here. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the guy on the right is an actor named
Mhm.
Kyle Chandler.
Yes.
The guy on the left is a convicted criminal
Hmm.
from 100 years ago.
Yeah, that's his mugshot right there that we're
That's
looking
his
at.
mugshot.
Hmm.
Exactly what it is.
Hmm.
And we're going to take a look at, there's several like that. By
His
the way.
eyes and his eyebrows, his nose. I mean, his facial features are like so identical.
Here's something very remarkable. Everybody knows Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
He's the Harry Potter, okay? If you look at him and look at the picture next to him,
Hmm.
they look identical. There's one problem.
Hmm.
The picture on the left is a girl,
Hmm.
okay? In fact, not only is it a girl, but it's a young woman who entered the convent. She became a nun.
Hmm.
Okay?
And the glasses are the same too, which is so unusual. The glass frames, the circle.
Oh yeah, they called them spectacles. They were round.
Oh. Well, and that
There
is
you go.
creepy right
This
there.
is Mark Zuckerberg, and there's a guy next to him here on this picture.
Hmm.
That's not Mark Zuckerberg on the right.
Hmm.
Mark Zuckerberg is on the left.
Hmm.
The guy on the right, Amelia, is a stand-up comedian.
Wow.
That's the dead ringer from Mark Zuckerberg.
You would think
chairman
they're
of
the
Facebook.
two and the same.
You can't tell the difference.
No, you cannot.
You can't tell the difference. I am hard pressed,
Mhm.
quite frankly, to tell the difference. Here's a familiar face, Brad Pitt.
Yes.
Do you know who the man on the left is?
That's a Union soldier from what I
His
see,
name
correct?
is General Isaac Stevens. He was a Union general soldier
Mhm.
in the Civil War. And
That
his
you-
name was General Isaac Stevens.
That uniform is
And he's a dead ringer for Brad Pitt.
The mustache, the goatee is uncanny. I mean, they look so identical. It's
Identical.
like his great grandfather right there.
Tell
Oh my
everybody who we're looking at now.
Matthew McConaughey is right there with, I believe that gentleman is also a doctor as well. He's the inventor of the ink blots, from what I
He
understand.
is, in fact, a doctor.
Mhm.
That picture, by the way, is over 130 years old.
Wow.
Okay? Photography's been around a long time. That's Matthew McConaughey on the right.
That is.
That's a dead ringer from Matthew McConaughey on the left.
Oh my gosh, the eyes and the
And he's
nose, the mustache is
Especially,
identical.
yeah. Exactly.
The only difference is Matthew McConaughey, people can't see, is wearing also a beard with that. That's the only
Right. This is Hugh Grant
difference.
on the right. The gentleman on the left is an English baron. I'm sorry, an English lord. His name is Lord Byron, and he's been written about in literature. Do you know the story of Frankenstein?
I've heard of it. Yes.
Frankenstein. You know who Frankenstein is? The monster.
Can you recap that for me?
Frankenstein, Amelia.
Mhm.
Frankenstein monster. You know Frankenstein?
Yes.
You don't know who that is?
I've had a long day today, so I
You
was
don't know
studying
who Frankenstein is?
the one that was built by a doctor.
That's the one. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm
That's
sorry,
the
I
one.
just drew a blank because I was looking at his.
The woman
his
who wrote
hair.
Frankenstein. I'm going around the block because Amelia's making me nuts.
I'm
The
just looking at
woman
this
who
hairline.
Listen to me. I'm going to make it short and sweet for you.
Mhm.
The woman who wrote Frankenstein is Mary Shelley.
Okay.
She was very, very dear friends with the man you're looking at, Lord Byron.
Wow.
Yes. They were among the elite circles. He was also a writer. There you go, David Schwimmer and his doctor look-alike.
That is uncanny too.
Okay, now, we saw Brad Pitt.
Earlier, yes.
Guess what? Here you go. There's another one.
Mm-hmm.
They said Brad Pitt's been around a couple of times. This is Herman Borsach.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, Herman Rorschach.
Yes.
This is from 1910, this picture. Okay, 1910. And Brad Pitt on the left. Now, you'd be very hard-pressed to tell me that they don't look like twin brothers.
They do look identical, like twin brothers. So
Hey,
that's like 2 times he's been around right there.
At least twice, yeah.
Mm-hmm, that we know of.
You're looking at General Douglas MacArthur
That is
on the left.
uncanny of Bruce Willis.
And Bruce Willis on the right. Here's the funny thing.
Uh-huh.
You see Bruce Willis wearing a military uniform.
Yes.
He played General MacArthur in the movies.
They picked a perfect person to play that role. I mean,
Could they have done any better?
oh gosh, no.
Amazing. I'm just going to let this play. This is oh my God, I forgot his name already.
That was let's see. I saw him. It was Peter Dinklage and Don
Peter
Sebastian.
Dinklage. Yes,
Mhm.
Peter Dinklage
Mm-hmm.
from the movie Elf.
Mm-hmm.
That's Justin Timberlake
Yes.
with an identical, and I talk about identical.
Very
Well,
identical.
Nicolas Cage. You're going to see him a couple times tonight too.
Mhm.
He seems like he's been around a little bit. All right,
That
now,
was the one that I could not find.
this is the one that scares the shit out of people.
Mhm.
Because Jay-Z and a dead ringer. I mean, it's so identical
Mhm.
down to the wrinkle. Okay,
Mhm.
down to the wrinkle. Jay-Z has a look-alike in 1939 Harlem. 1939 Harlem.
Yes.
It looks like the guy that could be Jay-Z's great twin grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
That's how freaky that picture is.
And when I went to do some research on that one, we couldn't find anything, especially this one right here. This
No,
is
it was the
one that-
only one I could find. The only one.
and this is the reason why I wanted to do this is because of the John Travolta.
Okay, tell everybody what you're looking at.
This is a picture of John Travolta on the right, and this, the left is identical picture of John Travolta from the 1860s. You could not find anything other than somebody was trying to sell it on eBay, and $35 is at first, but then they offered this lady $50,000. Nothing else written on it. Nobody's name. Nobody could find out who he was, where he was from. But if you people that are not that cannot see it, but can only hear our
I
voices,
need to stop you here, Amelia. What are you getting at? What's going on here? Talk to me.
nobody could see who it was, but they think that this is a time traveling John Travolta. That this is proven that this is.
Are you
that
trying
time
to
travel
say
is
that
possible.
somebody offered a lot of money for this picture?
Yes, because time travel is possible. This
Well,
proves it
what
right
if
here.
Travolta himself bought it?
They said that nobody knows who did that, who bought it, because maybe himself bought it because he didn't want nobody to know that time travel is possible.
Well,
Because he's
then
Scientologist.
the opposite end of the spectrum,
Mhm.
you've got Keanu Reeves that's been here at least
Mhm.
4 times, according to what I've read.
Right.
We're looking at Keanu Reeves at least 5 different
5.
images
Mhm.
from 1530,
Yes.
1875, 1991, 1995, 2009, 2014, 2017.
Mhm.
But if you look at him, he looks slightly different in each one.
And each single
Of
one.
course, time will do that.
Mhm.
But what if he was, remember, he did a movie about time travel.
Yes.
It was called Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Mhm.
What if that movie was based in reality and not a comedy?
That's what I'm thinking, because it was Bill and Ted 2 also, and then he did another movie when he had adult daughters as well.
Well, true. Well, here you go.
Mhm.
Look at this picture.
Mhm.
Okay, that gentleman there looks just like him. There's no information on that picture.
None whatsoever.
There's Keanu Reeves on the left and the gentleman on the right, and there is no information available about that picture. We don't know his name. We don't
Mhm.
know what he did for a living. We don't know where he posed for that photo.
We don't
We
to this
think
day.
that it's actually a painting,
Mhm.
which makes it even more mysterious. So let's take a look at the next series. Okay, here you go. On the right is Natalie Portman.
Mhm.
Guess what?
Mhm.
On the left, that's not a little girl, that's a boy.
Wow.
That's a boy. You saw previously the Harry Potter actor Daniel Radcliffe
Mhm.
and a female lookalike. Now you're looking at a female with a male lookalike. And you're going to see that again played out here. And again, this is a historical figure, but nobody knows. We don't know. Which makes it even creepier.
Mhm.
Here you go. Amelia, tell everybody what name that is on the picture on the left.
Judy Zipper.
Who's on the right?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Thank you.
Mhm.
They look identical, don't they?
Identical.
They look like
identical.
they could be twins.
Twins. Yes.
Leonardo is a boy, obviously.
Mhm.
Judy Zipper is a girl,
Right.
obviously. The interesting thing about Judy Zipper is this is the picture that they showed after she was murdered.
Wow.
Yeah, Wow is right.
Murdered.
That stuff. Now,
That one.
this one is here because I think it's hilarious.
The eyes.
First of
give it
all, I
away.
don't like this woman to begin with.
Mm-mm.
Her name's Ellen DeGeneres. And on the left is Ellen DeGeneres, and on the right
Mhm.
is a bearded man who looks remarkably like Ellen DeGeneres, complete with the nose and the eyes.
Yes.
So tell everybody what's creepy about that.
Henry David Thoreau or something like that was his name. It's just weird because he's a guy, and it just I don't know. It just creeps me out just by looking at him. And
He was an author named Henry David Thoreau.
yeah, poet.
That's who
and
that
just-
is.
I
And
don't
he was an amazing writer.
to be compared to
And
her.
I'm
it's just-
sure he would be rolling in his grave right now if he knew that he looked like Ellen DeGeneres.
Mhm. Being compared to some.
Because I would have to get plastic surgery. Now, I want you to take a very, very close look at this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something about this picture that we're looking at. It's from a video. Actually, not a video, pardon me.
Right.
It's from a film. It was done in 1938.
Wow, that's a.
I have the film. You're going to see it tonight.
Mhm.
I have the actual film this is from. I want you to notice two people in this clip you're going to see. The woman in the middle
Mhm.
and the woman next to her with the white jacket and little bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
Watch what just keep an eye on both of them women and when I'm ready I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
But just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Because you're going to see some creepy stuff. There's the Harry Potter, and it says my great aunt.
Hmm.
Now apparently someone's aunt looks like Harry Potter.
Mm.
I saw that and put it up there. Again, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
Dead Ringer, Jack Black and Paul Revere. And we know what Paul Revere looked like because he did pose for photos.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. Look at the pose.
Yeah, that on the
Jack
chin.
Black.
Mm-hmm.
He knows. He knows something.
Mm-hmm.
Look at his face. His eyes are telling a story.
Yeah, and the weird thing is that Paul Revere was a silversmith, and Jack Black likes to collect coins, old coins.
Yeah. But look at his eyes. What are his eyes telling you?
It's like he's holding something back, but he's not gonna tell you what it is.
Like
when he
he's
knows
got a
something.
secret, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted you to do. Exactly. You went
Yes.
right where I was
Mm-hmm.
where I was hoping you would go.
Yes.
Now, Amelia, this is
Mm-hmm.
a really freaky picture. Tell everybody what we're looking at.
We're looking at Hitler and a lot of his
Yeah.
army.
Not that I don't believe me, trust me, folks. Not that I want to look at Hitler.
No, but there's something strange in
But
that
there's
picture.
a very strange photo of Hitler because
Mhm,
he's in a Nazi parade,
mhm.
being, drove through the town.
Yes. Or carried or
But
something.
there's
but-
or carried, yes.
Mhm,
But there's a man standing right next to him.
mhm.
That's very out of place. He's wearing a fedora hat.
Uh-huh.
He's wearing a tie, a
Uh-huh.
suit. He does not look like everybody else in that picture.
No, because everybody's wearing like a Nazi uniform. He's wearing
And
a
he's
suit
wearing a
tie.
business suit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we know who this guy is. That's the difference.
Mhm.
And he's an American reporter. How did he get an American reporter get into Nazi Germany? He would have
Without-
been killed.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna ask you. Say, wouldn't he have been killed by now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would have killed him on sight.
Yeah.
We don't know. Look, we're asking questions, folks, like
Mhm.
everybody else. We don't know. Nicolas Cage and his twin again.
Mm-hmm.
You can see 5 different pictures of Nicolas Cage, and guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Every one of them looks like this guy.
And they said that this guy right here was a vampire. And
Let me tell that story. Can I tell that story
Yes.
real quick?
yes, go ahead. Yes.
That what they're saying is that the gentleman on the right
Mhm.
was an actual, real life, bona fide vampire.
Yes.
In that he did not bite people on the neck,
Mm-mm.
but he did drink human blood. Which, if you drink human blood, that categorizes you for vampirism. And it's a real thing. There are people alive, people today in the world, in America, around the world, who practiced vampirism.
Yes.
Okay, and this gentleman was one of those people, but they say that he was in the medical field
Hmm.
and that he knew what he was doing. And I have no reason to doubt him, but I do also not doubt that he was a vampire. We have proof of it.
Hmm.
Now, somebody was having a little fun with this. This is Michael Jackson and King Tut next to each other. But tell everybody, Amelia, why this photo is here.
I think it's to make fun of him, especially because of the nose.
Then that you said the magic word.
Hmm.
The nose on the statue is broken off.
Hmm.
And Michael Jackson's nose looked like it's about broken off too.
Yeah, I think it's like in the middle of some kind of surgery he was having, or
I
some kind of
you
bad
know what?
surgery that he had.
Michael Jackson had a
Mhm.
lot of problems. We're not going to, look,
Mm-mm.
he just had a lot of issues.
Yes.
Okay. Who are we looking at, Amelia?
That is an actor from Harry Potter. As a matter of fact, I was looking at him today as what was his name? I just
Rupert
had
Gint.
thank you. Rupert Gint.
You're welcome.
I had just had it today. I had all these papers here that I had done my research.
And who's on the right?
That is, let's see.
May I tell you?
Yes.
That's little Lord Fauntleroy.
Hmm.
He was the son of the British Prime Minister, Lord Fauntleroy.
Oh,
In 18... What the hell was it? Oh, shit. I
18,
forgot the year.
18. Let me see.
It was
I think I
18
had that here.
something. Lord Fauntleroy.
Lord. Where did he go? Let's see.
Yeah, Amelia will find that for everybody while we're going through the next picture.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's true. It's crazy. Oh, here you go.
oh,
That's Peter Dinklage, and the person on the left is Peter Dinklage. You all know him as the little person from the Elf movie.
yes.
On the right is an interesting photo. It's an interesting painting. Do you know who that is, Amelia?
Yes, I do actually. That is Don Sebastian de Mora.
That's exactly who he is. He was a little person,
Uh-huh.
just like Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
He is identical, and I mean to tell you, he is identical to Peter Dinklage. Now, Peter Dinklage has been an actor for about 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's a long time. I think Peter may be around 45 or 50 years old.
Oh, it was 1804. I just found the year.
In 1800, yeah.
For the other
1804.
gentleman before.
Yeah.
And this guy here was the jester for Prince Philip the Fourth.
Exactly.
The one on the right.
Yep.
Until Prince Philip the Fourth passed away, he pretty much, did as he could to entertain him. Basically, that's what he was known for.
He was the interim. He was the acting prince.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the next series.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like this.
This is what it's like. Wow.
Now this is freaky. This is someone. I have to tell you what somebody did here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to tell you about the woman, because I found a woman that looks just like that.
Wow.
And
This is
she's very
uncanny.
famous, and you'll know her name when I tell you. We're looking at, on the right, we're looking at Matt Damon.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there with his, fiance or wife or whoever she is.
Mm-hmm.
Or date, whatever the case. I don't know if he's married or not, but quite
Mhm.
frankly. On the left, we're looking at someone's parents. We don't know who the person is, but this is their father and their mother when they were in high school. Well, the man looks like a dead ringer for Matt Damon, and I found out who the woman looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to blow your fucking mind when I tell you.
Mhm.
Betty White.
Wow.
Yep. She's a dead ringer for Betty White.
It's remarkable.
Isn't it?
It's like the profile too. Now that you mentioned it, I could see it now.
Yeah, Betty White.
Yes.
Again, this is the girl with what Emma. What her name's Emma.
She had a weird last name. I just couldn't remember. Emma something.
Emma Watson. Is that her
Yes,
name? Emma Watson.
Watson. She played a.
Now, do you know who the gentleman on the right is?
He was on the TV show Friends as well.
His name is Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry. That's it.
Do you know who the guy on the right is?
The gentleman with the black and white picture.
Yep. The one that looks just like Matthew Perry.
I did not know who that is. No.
I will tell you who that is.
Mm-hmm.
That's Dr. You're going to love this one.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Phineas T. Pibb.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. It gets better. It gets better. Dr. Phineas T. Pibb is the guy who invented, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper?
That's the guy that invented Dr. Pepper. He was a real doctor. He was a real doctor. Dr. Pibb. Phineas T. Pibb. Dr. Pepper. Now, let me show you how crazy this whole thing is. You can go right now and type in on your Google Dr. Pibb. And guess what's going to come up?
His picture.
No.
No.
What's going to come up?
Uh-huh.
A
Dr.
soft
Pepper.
drink.
Wow.
Dr. Pibb is going to come up and Dr. Pepper is going to come up. And he invented Dr. Pepper and his name is Dr. Pibb. Okay? How crazy is that shit?
Wow. I liked that Dr. Pepper at one time. I remember drinking that thing like if it was like water one time growing up.
On the right is Jennifer Lawrence. On the left is Elizabeth Taylor. They could be identical. And by the way, Jennifer Lawrence believes this stuff.
Oh, I would say so because of the movies that she was in and everything. So she was in.
Yeah, she was in the Hunger Games.
Yes.
Now, what are we looking at?
Michael Jackson, of course, and his look-alike, and they had the same look, like in hats. It looks like to me, and the nose and the eyes and the mouth, everything's uncanny.
The gentleman on the left was a Civil War slave. Believe it or not, he was a slave.
It could be his twin.
It could actually be his twin. Yes. He was one of the first slaves to benefit from the Emancipation Proclamation. He became free, and they etched him forever and ever in a painting.
To me, some of these look like like you said, they could be a twin, or they could be the people that they come back from time travel and
Right.
different lives. Just depends
Tell
on which
everybody
life you
what we're
choose.
looking at.
That is a late show co-host. Let's see, I can't even think of his name.
His name's Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon. That's it, Jimmy Fallon.
And who's on the left?
That is actually a doctor as well, if I'm not mistaken. No, if I'm let me take a look. Let's see, Jimmy Fallon. Jimmy Fallon. I had his name just a minute ago because I thought he was going to be one of the first ones that we brought up.
Right.
Let's see, Jimmy.
You got the doctor part right. I believe he's a doctor.
Yes.
Yep.
Jimmy Fallon. Where are you? Because I had his information up because I thought that was one of the ones that we were going to bring up first.
Well, take your time. Take your time.
Okay, let's see.
We're going to be here for a while. We got a long.
Right. Oh, Turkish revolutionist Mayor Kayan. He was a Turkish leader, if I'm not mistaken.
That's exactly who he was.
And he also was trying to revolutionize the Turkish to kind of like make it like a free country, kind of make it kind of like into America, but of course he was killed.
Yes.
And his family as well.
He was part of the secession movement. He was trying to have Texas declared its own country. There are people today that are still trying to have Texas declared its own country.
And sadly,
They're
his wife and
called
children were
secessionists.
murdered too.
And
His wife and children were murdered as well.
yeah,
That's
they were
sad.
absolutely. Yep.
And I just, I don't understand why somebody like him would try to do something so wonderful and get murdered. That was just so sad.
We're looking at Queen Latifah on the right and her celebrity lookalike on the left. That, ladies and gentlemen, was an amazing performer, an amazing woman. Her name was Pearl Bailey. And that's who you're looking at. That's Queen Latifah's identical. Because Queen Latifah and Pearl look just like each other.
And Queen Latifah also loves hats as well, just like Pearl Bailey.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Now, here's one for you don't see every day. Sylvester Stallone on the right, and on the left, you ready for this one? Is Pope Constantine. Pope Constantine is on the left. He was one of the people who put the Bible together. That's Pope Constantine. Looking a lot like Rocky Balboa.
Right. And they have so many pictures of him everywhere, and pretty much in every chapel you could go to, they have all his paintings up there.
Now, Amelia, you and I talked about this one. You know who this is.
Oh, yes, I do know that one. Yeah, that one is, of course, Eminem that we talked about,
Yep,
and
Eminem,
Caligula.
right. And on the left is the notorious Roman emperor, the biggest pervert in the history of Rome, Caligula.
Yeah.
That's who you're looking at. That's the bust of Caligula. Looks identical to Eminem. Marshall Mathers.
Yeah, when I saw that, I wanted to break it. That one, I could not figure that one out, but
I'll tell you who that was. The one on the right, of course, Nicolas Cage. On the left is Leonardo da Vinci.
wow. Wow, he looked like a lot of
Leonardo da
people.
Vinci. That's what that's what the report said. They said that's Da Vinci.
He looked like a lot of different people.
Here you go. Oh, you just missed it. Oh, here you go.
Uh-huh.
We just looked at Bruce. Here you go. Remember I told you he played MacArthur in the movie?
Yes.
You're looking at it right there.
Yeah, and he won a couple medals for General MacArthur. And he also was a chief of staff or something at the White House.
You think? There's Johnny Depp on the left, and on the right is a Nazi scientist who defected Germany to come to the United States. You know what his name was?
I could never find his name because all I found was somebody from Reddit.
All they told me is that he is a scientist, a doctor of some kind.
Yeah, because that's all I could find from Reddit was somebody
that left Germany and then came to the U.S. That's what they're telling me. That's all I know about that guy. I don't know anything else about him.
We couldn't figure out anything. So
It's
that's
funny
another
how
one.
we could find certain information on certain people, and then others.
We could find everything.
Yeah, here you go. This was funny. It's funny, not funny, haha, funny,
Right.
strange.
The Conan O'Brien is. but I couldn't-
O'Brien on the right. Do you know who that is on the left?
All I could know is that he was a Union soldier from his uniform.
He was absolutely a Union soldier, a very high-ranking Union soldier. His name was General McClellan. That's who that is.
It looks so much identical. I mean, if that picture could have been color, I bet you his hair could have
That's
been probably
General
red.
McClellan. Now, this is strange because what are the odds that these two actors look like these two historical figures?
That is, wow. It's just,
By the way, let me tell you who you're looking at. That's Daniel Radcliffe with the blue shirt.
yes.
With the white shirt is shit. What the hell is his name?
I know he was from, wasn't it from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. Oh, what the hell was his name? I just had a brain fart, Amelia. What was his name?
I know who you're talking about, but I just cannot remember his name.
Yeah. But anyway, the picture on the left
Mhm.
are two completely different people, 50 years apart.
Hmm.
From
Is
the
that from the 70s?
from the early 1970s, 1971, in fact.
Wow, it's like if they just like did a costume party or something, but that's
Yeah,
pictures.
exactly. And of course, last but not least,
Hmm.
Eddie Murphy and this preacher man.
It's like Eddie Murphy just put on a hat, like in one picture.
Exactly, it's
But
exactly.
we don't
what it
know who he is. I mean,
is. Here's
that's
the
all.
funny thing.
Uh-huh.
Look at his eyebrows. Both
Identical.
eyebrows are identical.
The look.
The same arch, the
And look at-
same point. Everything is identical.
Even
Look
his
at
look.
the nose. It's the same nose, the same lips.
Hmm.
He's got the same mustache, for crying
Mm-hmm.
out loud.
And that look he's giving you too, like a mysterious look. You know, that little like shy.
Yeah,
look.
the little devil may care. Yes, exactly. So that's that one.
It's
Now,
see how
I've
some of
got
them
some-
can find anything. That's what made me think. Like, wait a minute, that is time travel people. That is people, celebrities that are time travel.
Now, I want to stop our background music for a little bit. You and I are going to talk.
Hmm.
You saw a bunch of pictures there.
Right?
Some of them we could figure out. Some of
Mhm.
them we just had no
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah.
And Amelia and I both did our individual, because we sometimes do research together,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time we do research separately.
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got your schedule, I got mine. I'm just telling
Right.
people how we work.
Yeah. I mean, some of them we could find certain things that I couldn't find a
I
lot.
was just about to tell people that. Yeah, exactly
Mhm.
what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we can find, and sometimes we just can't.
Mm-mm.
So, but someone said that's funny. The picture with Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
There were two pictures, identical,
Mhm.
but both the pictures had different names on it. One had Reverend. He was a black preacher
Mm-hmm.
named Reverend Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
The other one said Robert Johnson. Now, remember the show that we did on the 27 Club?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Remember the black guitarist Robert Johnson?
Right.
They're saying that's him, but that doesn't look like Robert Johnson that we had in our show.
It does not. Right.
That's what I'm saying. That guy's a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
Because he just looks like a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know how like certain people have like an air about them. You can
Right.
You can look at a person and almost tell what they do for a living.
Yes.
Like before you told me what you did for a living, I knew that you were either in the medical profession
Mm-hmm.
or you were some kind of caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out Amelia is in the medical profession. That's what
Right.
she does. I have some questions about this. What are we doing here? What are
'cause-
we coming back to visit Earth over and over again? Or is it just celebrities, or do we all have that benefit? I'm going to say, do we all have that blessing?
I think that some of them could be maybe lookalikes, like you were saying, and some of them are time traveling celebrities that want to see which is like their better life. And
Well, let's talk about that. You just opened up the door.
Mhm.
You just opened up the door. What's the difference between a time traveler and here's the thing proving it. What's the difference between a time traveler and the lookalike? Because I knew that you and I were going to broach that subject tonight, so
Mhm.
I had to be ready for you. You know, I
Uh-huh.
wasn't going to let you beat me to the punch here. I had to be ready for you. So, what's the difference? What do you think? Is there a difference between the time traveling celebrity and the lookalike? And what if What if, preacher Solomon was just an Eddie Murphy lookalike? I happen to think that it's pretty damn coincidental if he just happens to look like him. I don't know, because that's the one that made me believe in time travel. That picture.
If he just happened to look like him, then we would have a lot more information of who he was back then, history, family, mom and dad, grandparents, children.
You, young lady,
hmm
you just answered the question.
hmm
You just put your finger on it.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yes.
The difference is we would know.
hmm
We could go to the internet. We could go to the books
Right.
and look and read.
hmm
But that's not what's happening here.
No.
The pictures I showed, let's put it this way. The newest photo that I showed tonight
hmm
was 50 years old.
Right.
Okay? Not the celebrity pictures, the counterpart. I'll
Right.
say that, because I don't want to say the lookalike picture, because then we don't know if they're lookalikes. We don't know.
hmm
Okay, but we know that Peter Dinklage looks like the Crown Prince.
hmm
Okay, we know he was the interim prince. We know that Rupert Grint looks like Little Lord Fauntleroy. Why? Because we have pictures of Little Lord Fauntleroy,
And there's history going back and back and back. Who
and
he
we
was.
have his lineage. Exactly what Amelia just said. We can trace it back.
hmm
But
Yes.
then again, there's the other things that come up are
Jay-Z,
the
John Travolta.
photos that are so old that you can't trace them, like Jay-Z. And a man standing there.
Mhm.
Now, of all the people, Amelia,
Mhm.
of all the people, why do you think the photographer took a picture of him and not the person next to him, or the people on the other side of that where they were standing? Why did the photographer take a picture of that man, the Jay-Z lookalike, for lack of a better word?
Mhm.
Why did they take a picture of him? Or did they already know that he was going to be special?
They probably already knew he was going to be special just by his look, his charisma, the way he was standing. Maybe at the time they thought, "Oh, look at the way he's standing.
Stop
That's
right there.
different."
Stop right there.
Mhm.
You just did it again. You
Mhm.
just put your finger on it. By his charisma, his attitude, the way he was standing, his posture. Look at this posture,
Mhm.
the way he was standing. You're going to see something tonight that I don't know if you've seen before.
Mhm.
We've seen lots of clips on this show of Elvis Presley. Okay?
Mhm.
I want you to see a clip you've never seen before. Okay? Watch this.
Evidence of time travel at an Elvis Presley concert. This is live footage and taken.
Okay. We know that was Elvis Presley, right?
Right, correct.
Okay, let's take a look. That's Elvis Presley. We all know what the whole world knows what Elvis Presley looks like.
Mhm.
Travel at an Elvis Presley concert. This is live footage and taken 30 years ago
Whoa.
Okay, you see what I'm seeing?
Yes.
Watch.
before smartphones were invented. Watch the woman in the audience.
The woman in the audience
So is this
has a cell phone.
Mhm.
She's got a cell phone. There's a problem, however,
Mhm.
because this is 1977 and cell phones weren't invented. Let's put it this way. iPhones were not invented yet.
Mhm.
That woman is holding an iPhone in 1977. But I want you to take a look at the woman herself, because she looks out of place, and you're going to see this a couple of times. Watch.
evidence of time travel? Let me
Look at the woman. Take a look at her. Now watch.
know your thoughts. Evidence of time travel at an Elvis Presley concert. This is live footage and taken 30 years ago.
Okay. She's holding it just like you hold a phone.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why did the cameraman go to her? Because he saw something he'd never seen before.
Right.
He saw, what is that woman holding? He thought to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There were 25,000 people at that Elvis concert. That cameraman singled in on one person, one woman by herself. Look
Before smartphones were
watch again.
invented. Watch the woman in the audience.
All right.
So is this evidence of time travel?
There's the woman's face. Does she look familiar to you?
A little bit. I just can't place her from somewhere.
She looks very familiar to me. I'm going to let you think about it for a little bit. But this is 1977.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman, that woman there, first of all, look at how she's dressed. She's dressed differently than everybody else there.
Well, those
Look
clothes
at
weren't
her-
invented for like years and years later, for one.
Look at her hair.
Mhm.
Her hairstyle is different than everybody else's.
From the 80s, at least.
At least the mid 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 1977.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The 80s is still 3 years away, the
Mhm.
beginning of the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 8 to 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That woman, to me, and maybe she doesn't look like anybody to anybody else, but to me, I'm going to tell you who she looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you may think I'm crazy, or you may. She looks to me like an actress named Deborah Messing. Do you ever see a show called Will and Grace?
Yes.
That's who she looks like. Let's show this again. Watch.
Let me know your thoughts.
It's Mike Tyson. In Tyson's return, he plans to go straight ahead, but with elusiveness, something he got away from prior to prison.
Do you see it?
Mm-hmm. The cell phone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see that? That you see Mike Tyson?
Yes.
You see right over his shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy going like this with
a cell phone like this? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, hold up your phone again.
Like this? Uh-huh.
Yeah, because guess what? Your phone and his are identical. Look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Watch.
D'Amato once told him your greatest asset can become your greatest weakness. So he's been working a great deal on his movement the past few months, and here we go. And McNeely, as advertised, comes right at.
Let's watch.
Oh, look at that.
You know what he's doing?
He's at least filming it, right? At
He's
least.
filming the fight. Yes.
Mhm.
This is before iPhones were invented. We're looking at it in color here. This is Mike Tyson and fighting some guy that got beat up.
Mhm.
And in the audience, there's a man clearly who
Like
has
Just like
So-
this.
and a
Uh-huh.
phone that looks just like Amelia's. In
Mhm.
fact, look, the viewfinder, the camera's in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
Just
that.
like that. Mm-hmm.
And look right next to it. There's a little a light on it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know how cameras have the lights on
The
them
little
now?
light, yeah, so they could
Yeah.
make sure they got a good light to be able to film it.
Right?
Mm-hmm. So he could probably go back and later on, go watch it, see who wins, go back and maybe
Yeah.
bet on it to get rich.
Watch this. This will blow your mind.
Wow, look at that.
Now,
Nobody's even.
remember what I said before.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the woman on the cell phone, and watch the woman in the white jacket and little bow tie. Do you see what the woman with the bow tie is doing?
She's watching. She's looking right at a camera.
She's looking right at the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the woman behind her is, you can see her lips moving.
Plain as day.
She's
Yes.
talking clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
She's holding something to her ear.
Mm-hmm.
She's talking into a device.
Mm-hmm.
There's one problem, ladies and gentlemen. The film that we're looking at is from 1938. It's from 1938. And this film has been verified. It has been absolutely declared unretouched. In other words, it's not been altered with, it's not been photoshopped, it's not been edited in any way, shape, or form. This is legit. It's the real deal. Watch. One more time. One more time. Watch. I don't care how you slice it or dice it.
Mm-hmm.
That woman there in the white coat, she's looking dead at the camera, and she's got a very stern look on her face. And I'm going to tell you something that you may think I'm nuts. I don't think that's a woman. I don't think that's a woman. I think that's a man.
Dressed in women.
Yeah. And I think that the woman on the cell phone is a time traveler. And I think that the person in front is her escort.
And he doesn't have like the same at the dress like you would wear back in them days like that. I don't think, because back then it doesn't look like to me.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. You made my
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yeah.
You absolutely made my point. I want to show one more piece of film because we're going to be here for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's already. Oh, I forgot to do our commercial. Hold on.
Yep.
You know what, folks?
Mm-hmm.
I am up. It's 8:00, and I'm sorry, Manscaped. I just blew right by Manscaped, folks. I'm up against the hard break here at 8:00.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do a commercial. We'll be right back. Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. I feel better now. Manscaped likes me again. So listen, let me ask you the question, Amelia,
Mm-hmm.
that we started the show off with. First of all, thank you to
Mhm.
20th Century Fox
Yes.
for the use of Somewhere in Time, that clip. It's a great movie. If you
Mhm.
do not have it, rent it on DVD. You can actually rent it on it's on Netflix. You can rent it on Amazon if you have
Mhm.
Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Rent it or buy it. Actually, I own a copy. So and it's one of Amelia's favorites. And I didn't know that, Amelia. I didn't know
Yep.
that you liked that movie.
Oh yes, it's a great movie with Christopher Reeve.
Oh my
in
God,
it. It's,
Christopher Reeve, the
Mhm.
late Christopher Reeve, was a
Yes.
hell of an actor.
mm-hmm.
And that poor man,
Mhm.
my heart goes out to him. So let me ask you the question that we started everything off with:
Mm-hmm.
is time travel possible?
I would say yes, it is, especially if you have the money for it, or if you
Well, wait a
build,
minute. Let me pull you back here. Hold on a minute.
or
What is it you hung up on money tonight? Hold on.
that's
Let
what
me-
it's
listen,
that's
I
what they've been saying.
Wait a minute. Let me just forget the financial thing. Just
Okay.
Forget it. Just hear me out now.
Mm-hmm.
Just hear me out. Once in a while, we come to terms on things. All right, it's a simple question.
Mm-hmm.
Is time travel possible?
Yes.
Okay, why do you believe that?
First of all, they say that a lot of people believe in it because John Travolta, for one, was Scientologist, and they believe in reincarnation.
Ah, there you go. Okay.
That's one
Well,
possibility.
let's talk about that, actually.
That's one
That's a pretty
possibility.
good segue. That's actually a pretty good segue.
Mhm.
Of the people that we saw tonight, about half of them declare themselves as Scientologists.
Yes.
Okay, now, what about those that are not Scientologists?
Those which would be, I think, in the second category would be Jay-Z, would be the other category.
Okay, which would be the occult.
The
Which
cult,
would be
Illuminati, those people.
okay, Illuminati, the occult.
Mhm.
How about those who believe that you can be granted entrance into this if you have enough money. Now
Yes.
we'll bring at the money
Mhm.
issue.
You can be
Well, I
granted
didn't want to
anything
go
you
right
wish.
into the money thing first. I want to
Mhm.
explore because
Mhm.
there's a lot to explore here.
Yes, you can be granted anything you wish as long as you give a lot to the Rain Man, as you can say,
Well, do
basically.
you know? Let's talk about that. I don't know because you're not real. You're spiritual, but you're not really religious.
Mhm.
Let me tell you what, and this I'm not making this up, folks, and I'm not putting anybody down,
Mhm.
but this is absolutely true. The old Catholics, in fact, the Catholic Church used to
Mhm.
believe that you could buy your way out of sins and you could buy your way out of hell.
Mhm.
Did you know that there were people that that thought that they could buy their way into heaven?
Oh yeah,
And
they.
they even had a name for it.
Mhm.
It was called buying indulgence. You can't make
No.
please, if you think that I'm making this shit up, because everybody thinks I'm full of shit. And then they go online and they look, and then I get emails like,
Oh, Angelo, you were right. Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
tell them,
Yeah.
please tell them,
Yeah, you get
okay?
emails like, Angelo, I should have believed you when I watched your
Yeah.
show instead of
Oh,
downgrading you. And
dude, you were right. Here's what I
Mhm.
get, dude, you were right.
Mhm.
Well, I don't lie.
No.
I didn't lie to you.
And guess what? Like you were telling people, hidden in plain sight. They make movies like Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks, which was just on the air
Hiding in
just over the
plain sight.
weekend.
The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, and
Angels and Demons.
which is
Ladies and gentlemen,
mhm.
boys and girls, children of all ages.
Yeah, it was just on the air
My
over the
friends,
weekend.
Amelia and I love you very much, but listen to me. You have to listen to me on this one.
Mhm.
We're not going to BS yet. This is
No.
real stuff, okay? This is for real.
Mhm.
And and people said, well, why, Angela? Somebody actually wrote me an email and go, why do you huff and puff a lot? I said, I got to repeat myself a million fucking times on this show. So listen to me. Here we go again. All right. This is what it just boggles my imagination that there are people who have to have it spelled out for them. Folks, there's only two kinds of forces in the world.
Mhm.
There's good and there's bad. Okay, that's it.
Mhm.
There's only two forces in the world, good and bad. And if you're not being pulled toward good, you're being recruited for bad.
Yes.
And if you're too feisty for bad, they're going to say, get out of here and join the other team.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
Like Amelia did.
Yeah. I say, Amelia, just get out of here and go over there, the good side,
Exactly.
please.
Because the devil was let me explain what Amelia did, okay, folks? She got the devil so frustrated, he said, get out of here because
Yeah.
I'm afraid you're going to take over.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right.
much. because
Yeah.
I didn't like the way he was running things. So I said, you know what, I got to take over. But
Yeah,
he didn't like
exactly.
it.
So he said, "Get the hell out of here. Go play for the other team."
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway,
He wasn't
fucking
running
nut.
things the way it should be. So I said, you know what? And then
This
he's
is
like,
where I
no.
work with it twice a week. This is what I have to deal with.
Yeah. And he's got to explain some things to
I'll
me
keep her
sometimes.
because she
'cause-
makes me laugh.
yeah. And my
Um,
brain sometimes doesn't work the way it should be sometimes. Because I think I might have some
Honey,
blonde
your
in
brain
there.
never works the way you want it to.
So he's got to explain some things to me sometimes, So that's how we work
Oh,
very
shit.
well. So that's why I'm the mouth of the South sometimes, maybe.
Yes, exactly why you're the mouth of the South. I'm not stupid. I named you right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
I also named you the pit bull, and I named you right on that one too.
Yeah, because if
But
anybody
let's
picks
talk
on you,
about
guess
this.
what? They have to deal with me. So that's why.
Yeah, but well, I saved the best for last. Though we're not done. We got we
No.
got a couple more things to do.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I believe.
Yes.
And
Now tell me what you think the difference is.
Okay, here, and I'm glad you asked that because I believe there is a difference.
Okay.
I believe there's a difference between, and I'm going to break this up into two categories.
Okay.
I believe there's a difference with time travel
Mm-hmm.
and dimension travel.
Oh, good one.
Because I don't think these people are time. I want to be careful how I say this. I don't believe that they are specifically time travelers, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
I think these people are slipping in and out of dimensions. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There was a show on television many years ago that's making a comeback now called Quantum Leap.
Oh, I love that show.
Okay.
With
Now,
Scott Bakula, the original.
Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell.
Yes.
Dean Stockwell and Scott Bakula were the original stars. And I'm glad you remember because I love that show.
Me too. Yes.
Now, they have made a comeback. There's a new Quantum Leap on television. Here's the difference. You'll notice, though, in Quantum Leap, although they jumped in and out of time, they weren't really traveling back to time. They were jumping in to do a specific thing and then jumping back out.
Right.
Okay? Jumping, and I call it jumping in dimensions. Okay. In other words, time is like layer. Think of time like a cake, like a 5-layer cake.
Right.
Okay. You're going from different layers of the cake. Okay. You can go from the bottom straight up to the top, or you can go into the cake and go up the layers. Okay. It's two ways to do it. You can travel through the cake. I would call that time traveling. Or you can go from the bottom to the top. I would call that dimension traveling or dimension jumping.
Right.
Okay. For example, Spirit does it all the time. Spirit jumps in and out of the dimensions all the time to help people. How many times have we seen this on the news? That a person got pulled out of the way of a car just in the nick of time.
Yes, I've heard of that. Yes.
How's that happen? Was there an angel there? Was there somebody waiting for them to pull them out?
Right.
You can't. These are things nobody can answer.
Right.
Okay. Was God waiting for them to make sure that they didn't get hurt? We don't know. But what we do know is that sometimes these are very close calls, but always miraculous. I believe that that's an element of time jumping, dimension jumping. Okay. But somebody like the perfect example, the John Travolta picture we saw.
Right.
Okay. We saw a picture of John Travolta. Do you know who that was the Travolta lookalike?
Nobody can figure that out.
Blow your mind when I tell you who it was.
Nobody can figure that.
You know, you know who it was? It was Billy the Kid.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding. The outlaw, Billy the Kid.
What?
Now, wait a minute. If you think that I'm out of my mind, Amelia,
Mhm.
and ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go on Google and Google this
Mhm.
and just ask this question to Google. Did Billy the Kid survive? And watch what happens. Just type that in. Did
Mhm.
Billy the Kid survive? Or better yet, here's another one
Mhm.
that looks strangely like John Travolta. Jesse James. Then do this, Amelia.
Mhm.
Go on to Mr. Google and say, Mr. Google, did Jesse James survive? Because guess what?
Mhm.
I think he did.
There
Not
was
only do I
rumors.
think he did, but I know a guy who wrote a book all
Mhm.
about it. And in fact, he's going to come on the show.
There was rumors about Billy the Kid surviving, but nobody could ever prove that. Mhm.
We think
Mhm.
it's been proven.
Mm.
We think it's been proven. And I'll tell you how, and I'll tell you why. There are 2 grave sites for Billy the Kid.
2?
There can't be 2. There was only
Mhm.
one Billy the Kid.
Oh,
But
exactly.
there's 2 grave sites. So one of them is obviously not the right one.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, who did they bury then? A lookalike, maybe.
Right?
Even back then, maybe there was a lookalike for Billy the Kid.
Or could have been John Travolta traveling back in time, and that's John Travolta. It could be Billy the Kid playing John Travolta now.
Well, there you go. Hello.
Mhm.
Hello. Now you're making my point. Yes, exactly. That's where I'm going, folks. That's where I'm going with it. Yeah. So the question is time travel possible? You heard what Christopher Reeves and playing the part of Richard Collier, what he and the professor were talking about at the beginning of the show. And let's play. I'm going to play it for you one more time. Let me get it in here.
Mhm.
I want because it's really important. I want you to listen to this. It's really, really important. Listen to what he says. Here you go, Neil.
Walk with me, young man. I have another class. What's your name?
Collier, sir. Richard Collier.
Student?
Yes, I was 9 years ago.
Well, I try to make my classes interesting, but 9 years. What can I do for you?
I have a question for you, sir.
Shoot.
Is time travel possible?
Look at the look on the professor's face.
Yes.
When Richard Collier says, is time travel possible? Because the professor knows. He knows that he traveled in time.
Mhm.
Okay? But he doesn't want to tell Richard Collier.
Mhm.
He doesn't want to come right out and say yes. So in the next scene, which you're not going to see here, in
Mhm.
the next, because I can only play so
Certain-
much, then
Mhm.
I got to get, legal documents from the studio, which it takes a lot of time to do. But I can play this little clip and set it up for you. Here's what happens. So the professor says to Richard, that is a question. And that's the question of the night. Is time travel possible? And then he explains to him how he goes about,
Mhm.
traveling through time.
Right.
What he did.
Mhm.
And he tells him that there are certain things that you have to do for this to work.
Mhm.
The time, the place, the surroundings.
Yes.
There can be no trace of the present.
Right.
There has to be no trace of the present,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Now, watch this.
That is a question.
That is the question, he says.
Mhm.
So remember what happens in the movie.
Yes.
At the end of the movie, Richard reaches into his pocket, and what happened, Amelia? There was a penny.
Yes.
a penny from 1976.
From the year that he was. Yeah.
And that stopped everything in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And Jane Seymour says, "Come back to me. Come back
Yes.
to me." She's holding out her hand. "Come back to me."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and for a lot of the movie, you know, we want to give a lot of it away because you want to watch it, but there's got to be certain things he's got to get to travel back into time. So we have to watch the movie.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly right. I want to take a look. I want you to take a look at this. This, I can't believe this, but this is a real, you can't make this up. This is a real ad. And I want to read this because people are going to think I'm nuts. It says, "Wanted, somebody to go back in time with me. This is not a joke. P.O. Box 322, Oakview, California, 93022. You'll get paid after we get back. Must bring your own weapons. Safety not guaranteed. I have only done this once before." Amelia, please tell me that I read that exactly as it's written.
He read that exactly as it's written.
You
I
can't
swear
make
to
this
you.
shit up.
He cannot.
You can't make this up. Let me read this one. This is even better.
The title
Because
is
this guy. Oh, wait, this gets good. Because this is documented, this case. The headline says, and this is a real headline, folks.
Yes, it
A
is.
real headline from a real situation that happened. Time traveler skips town. Okay. New York. Listen to this. Self-proclaimed time traveler Andrew Carlson, the enigmatic Wall Street wizard jailed on insider trading, has vanished without a trace. The mystery man, who claimed to be from the year 2256, jumped bail and skipped town. He vanishes, ladies and gentlemen. He vanished from inside a jail cell.
Whoa.
Now, I'm not making this up. More to the amusement, he just vanished from a jail cell inside the cell without a trace. Now, why is this important? Because he was so good, he knew what the stock market was going to do because he was from the future. He knew what the stock market was going to do. They arrested him for insider trading. There's one problem. He wasn't insider trading. He was giving them information he already knew because he was here before.
So he was
The
giving them
guards,
future updates.
They locked him in a jail cell, Amelia. They locked him in a cell. He vanished in the cell. And there was a police officer standing outside the cell when this happened. He just vanished. He was there 1 second and poof, the next he was gone. Now, you tell me, how do you explain that?
He could have had some kind of a time warp or time loop inside with them, like a watch or something that maybe opened up a portal.
Could be.
Perhaps. Or maybe the police officer was in on it as well and let him free when nobody was watching. That could be two scenarios.
It's funny you say that because they gave the officer a lie detector test. They asked him, "Did you release the prisoner?" He said, "No, sir, I did not." And guess what? He passed every lie detector test they gave him. Okay? Everyone.
So he must have had a portal.
That's what everybody believes. Here's an interesting one. Tell everybody what you see, Neil.
It looks like a statue, like is it an astronaut statue in there?
That's what it looks like. It looks like an astronaut. Okay?
A stone or something.
Well, let me tell you, I'm going to read this to you because it's important. Space travel was introduced only a few decades back. But what if you see the pictures that tell otherwise? Well, here is a picture of a sculpture on the wall of a church building.
Wow.
That is on the wall of a church building. The church was built between the years 1600 and 1800. Okay? So when the sculpture that's on that of an astronaut, it's pretty weird, isn't it, Amelia?
It is, because that's like not even possible yet.
Exactly. Or is it? Do you
Or
know
has
who Giorgio Tsoukalos is?
No.
Do you know the guy that does Ancient Aliens, the guy with the crazy
Oh,
hair?
yes. Uh-huh.
That's Giorgio. I had the chance to meet him a couple times.
Oh, wow.
Giorgio absolutely believes that space travel has happened in the past. And not only can he prove it, but so can science. There are cave drawings that are thousands and thousands of years old
Hmm.
of astronauts that look just like that.
But it wouldn't be by us here on Earth, right? It would be by another planet.
Hey, hello. There you go.
Hmm.
Okay. So is time travel possible? You're looking at
Absolutely.
absolute proof. Now, take a look at this guy. Okay?
Hmm.
His name is Von Heller. Okay?
Hmm.
His name is Von Heller. Why is that important?
Sounds like a German name.
He was
Mhm.
absolutely German. But he is the man who claims to be, and he's still alive today.
Hmm.
He claims to be over 200 years old.
200 years old.
Yeah. And the picture that you see at the end of this lineup is what he looks like today.
Wow, he
He
looks like
claims to be 217 years old.
he looks like he's at least 50, 60 years old there. At least,
Okay. Well, you're
right?
going to see a video of him
Hmm.
tonight. But just keep that in mind. Okay?
Hmm.
That the first picture you're looking at
Hmm.
is Mr. Von Heller from 1857.
1857.
The
Wow.
next one is 1916. The next one is 1945.
Hmm.
And the last one is from 2023.
Wow.
Okay? If you do your math, that's over 200 years.
Hmm.
Okay? Or almost, okay, I'm sorry. Not quite 200. It's not the 20. It's 100 and see 1957 would be 100. So almost 200 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Close to
Okay,
it.
yeah. About 170 years.
Hmm.
All right? You're going to I want you to take a look at this picture.
Hmm.
Take a good look at that picture. What do you see?
It's like a downtown, early downtown, like in the 1920 roaring 20s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is.
Like a Great Depression kind of era.
It absolutely is. It was
Mhm.
taken in the late 20s, early 30s during the Depression. You got that
Mhm.
time right.
Mhm.
Okay, what else do you notice about this picture?
A lot of men walking downtown. Looks like maybe could be. Let's see.
Amelia, there's one man standing front and center.
The
Look at him.
gentleman- Let's see, the one right here with the vest on, with the hat.
Yes, exactly.
Mhm.
What's he doing?
He's just looking down at a street down that way.
No, look
It's
at
hard
him.
to see. Hold on a second.
He's holding something to Amelia.
Uh-huh.
Look at him. He's
Okay.
on the phone.
Oh, okay. I couldn't see that because it's a smaller print for me here, but yeah.
Hold on.
Mhm.
I'll make it bigger for you.
Okay, thank you.
Take a look.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it now.
He's on a cell phone.
He is.
Yeah, but guess what?
Nobody else is watching him.
This is 1930.
Hmm.
This picture is 1930. How do we know? Because it says it right there,
Mhm.
1930.
And everybody else around him is just walking around like nothing.
Like nothing. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Remarkable.
Mm-hmm. Just
You're
like
going to see that again. Here, all right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. Let me make this bigger for you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you notice about this picture?
Wow.
And don't look at the whole picture. Just look at the part
just
circled.
like the circled. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that gentleman. There's a gentleman right there. It's like wearing sunglasses, dark clothes. Doesn't even belong right there with everybody else.
You're exactly right. He doesn't look
Mhm.
like he belongs.
No.
There's something else. What's he holding in his hand?
Let's see. It looks like a cell phone
Close. He's holding a camera.
camera. That's right. And it's everybody else is
There's one
wearing
problem.
hats. And the cameras
There's
were
one-
invented back then, not like that.
There's a problem with this photo, ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen. The camera that he's holding wasn't invented.
Not digital or something like that camera.
That camera he's holding wasn't invented till the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
The picture you're looking at was taken in 1948.
Yes.
How do we know that? Because the car
Mm-hmm.
that you see, that there's a car in that picture.
Yeah, right there behind all those gentlemen right
Well,
there.
there's a person in that car
Mhm.
that you cannot see. The person in that car is Harry Truman, the president of the United States in 1948.
Mhm.
In 1948. Why is he president of the United States? Because Franklin Roosevelt died.
Mhm. And that gentleman's wearing glasses back from like the 80s, like you wouldn't see now. The
And
haircut's
he's
different.
wearing clothing from the late 70s, early
Mhm.
80s.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have that kind of clothing yet. Nobody wore that stuff.
No, the glasses, the sunglasses, and the haircut's different with as well.
Everything's different.
Mhm.
He's wearing a comb back haircut and
Mhm.
and long hair, by the way.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Now, Amelia, just take a look at that photo. Take
Mm-hmm.
a very good look and tell me what you see.
Okay, let's see. It looks like somebody's holding a cell phone right there on the bottom, on the
Yep.
bottom middle of the picture. It's like taking a picture of somebody holding a trophy or something like that.
There's one problem, though.
It's a flip phone.
Yeah, it is a flip phone. There's one
Mhm.
problem, though.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the year,
It's back what is it?
1962.
Yeah.
This is at the World Cup
Mm-hmm.
in Spain. It's not in America. This was in
Mm-mm.
Spain.
And cell phones weren't invented till like the 1990s, something, 2000.
Look at everybody else there. You see the guy in the back
Mhm.
with the camera?
Yeah, those are the cameras
He's got a
back
big,
in the.
bulky camera.
I remember
Look at
those.
everybody else that has a camera.
Yeah, they're all the same kind of cameras except for
The
that one
only
photo.
person in that picture,
Mm-hmm.
the only person in that picture,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see it clear as day.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's a real picture.
Mm-hmm.
We verified all of these photos tonight. That's
Mm-hmm.
a real photo.
Because my mom had a phone just like that cell phone, the flip phone.
1962.
Mm-hmm.
That phone wasn't even invented
No.
yet.
Mm-mm.
So this is what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Let's take a look at another one. Okay, now this goes back a lot earlier than that. Do you know who Charlie Chaplin was?
It's a silent actor.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you can see it right there. It says Charlie Chaplin at the circus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you see the zebra?
Mm-hmm.
You see that the man in front of the zebra?
Yes.
What's he holding to his head?
Looks like some kind of a camera of some sort or
No.
binoculars.
He's holding a phone to his head.
Phone.
There's one problem.
That cell phones weren't even thought about back then.
Not only that, but the year we're talking about
Back
is
then.
1923,
Mm-hmm.
and film was still done in
Silent.
silent.
And black and white. Yeah, everything was just, you couldn't even talk back then. Yeah.
And that was the end of that one.
Wow. It's amazing how all this is in authentic pictures and all this is right there
Yeah. And I want to show you. This is the last one. I want to show you this. I'm just going to let it play. Watch. This is Mr. Von Helton. Just let it play. Just watch. You just saw 1857.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is 1916. Take a look. Same person. There he is as a Nazi in World War II. Okay. Same guy.
Wow.
All right. If you're wondering how old he is, it's 166 years old that's how old he is. If you believe his story. And that's the same fit. You can't deny it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same face. This is no Photoshop. Nothing's been retouched. This is a real picture, a real person who is still alive today. And he's been interviewed. And he says that's him, that he's a time traveler, and that's him.
That first one was so creepy. I was like, okay, is he going to jump out at me or something?
Yeah, right.
That was so weird. I was like, okay, what's he going to do now?
Yeah, exactly. That's the question. What was he going to do?
Exactly, yeah, right. Who is he going to be? Like, and it's so weird that you were showing those, because I've seen a lot of these pictures that a lot of them want to go to Germany for some reason. They want to be in Germany for some reason. I don't get it.
I'll tell you, it's something funny. It's very strange, and I'll share something with you and my audience tonight. And I've never said this before on the air. I've never said this publicly. Everybody knows I'm Italian. I mean, with a name like Angelo DeCipio, it's hard to hide, right?
Right.
I don't speak a lick of Italian. I don't speak a single word of Italian. Okay, and I don't understand much of it either. But for some reason, and I never had lessons, I never took this in high school. For some reason, I can speak fluent German.
Really?
And I can understand it. And I've never talked about this. And for some reason, I feel a connection to Germany. I've never been to Germany. I've never been there. But for some reason, I feel like if I went to Germany, I feel like it would be like home.
You'd fit right in somewhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that strange? I've never said that before.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak German and
Hmm.
I can understand it. And I never had German lessons. I never took German in high school. I took Spanish in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what?
Mhm.
I don't understand a lick of Spanish either now.
You can't.
Okay?
I
Not
well,
not a single word, not one.
mhm.
Okay?
Yeah, I
I
remember when
took
I was a
Spanish
kid.
because it
But,
seemed easier than Italian. But
right.
guess what?
Uh-huh.
I don't understand either of them.
Well,
don't.
I remember speaking it when I was little Spanish, but then as I grew up, I forgot, and then I took it again for school. But then now here in Florida, it's just so much different Spanish. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, who do I listen to? What do I say? Because you don't want to say the right or the wrong thing to the person. You're like, okay, if I say this, but it means something else, what are you trying to say? It's all
That's the
different.
question, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Cuban, Colombian, Puerto Rican, Mexican. I mean, see, there's all that Spanish different here in Florida.
Yeah.
Each word
Tell
means
you
different
what,
things.
man. Kind of strange, huh?
Hmm.
Was a good show tonight. Was a long show tonight, hour and a half.
I just, I feel
I
that
love
the
it.
time travel is possible, different dimensions, like you were saying now, that's kind of proven a different point as well. Lookalikes
Well,
are
yeah.
possible. So it opened up a different, you know, kind of
Well, we
different
did some time traveling, you and I tonight, because we traveled an hour and a half
thing.
tonight for
Yep.
sure.
Hmm.
Amelia, tell everybody what's going on tomorrow night.
We are going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and First Amendment rights, things like that. We're going to be talking about that because we've been wanting to talk about it for a while, and not going to shut
Yeah.
me up about certain things. And we're going to
We're
have
going
Pastor
to
Steve on
unleash
tomorrow.
tomorrow night. We're
Hmm.
Amelia and I have had this private conversation when we talk about upcoming show ideas.
Hmm.
We were talking about this, and we're both well, first of all, we are staunch advocates of freedom of speech.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, we are fiercely protective of the Constitution.
Hmm.
That's number two. And three, we're not going to let anyone change our history.
No,
Period.
we're tired of that.
Tomorrow night, we will be joined by our favorite preacher, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski will be here. And that man knows a thing or two about free speech.
Hmm.
Because when you try to shut down a preacher from talking, spreading the word of God, then you're going to have a big, big problem.
Hmm.
Well, that's become a problem here in America, folks.
Hmm.
There are people trying to shut down preachers from speaking the word of God. But I tell everybody, don't worry about it. If they want to, go ahead and let them do it. You know why?
Yeah.
Because we've all read the end of the book,
Hmm.
and we win. Okay,
Yeah.
the good guys win.
And I don't see what's wrong with saying the Pledge of Allegiance at the school. What's wrong with that? We did it when we were kids. Why can't your kids do it?
Well, I
There's
want to tell you
nothing
what the
wrong
problem
with
is. Can I
that.
tell you I'm going to tell you what the problem is. I have a problem myself with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hmm.
I don't say it. I will never say it.
Not
I'm going to
anymore.
tell you, and I'll tell you why.
Hmm.
Let's examine the words. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Hmm.
of the United States of America.
Right.
Right there should be a red flag, okay?
Hmm.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Hmm.
No, you're pledging allegiance to a flag, a piece of material? No, I pledge allegiance to my country, the
Hmm.
United States of America. Okay? That's what I pledge allegiance to. You know?
Hmm.
For which it stands, okay? It's not look, people say, oh, you shouldn't burn a flag or
No.
you should go to jail for burning a flag. Let me tell you something. It's a flag. People died for that flag, but people fought to have the right to burn that flag. Okay? I have no opinion either way, but I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never pledge allegiance to that flag. I'll pledge allegiance to my country. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'll even, and you know, and I've said this before, I love my country, but I hate my government.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you what I'll do. I will pledge allegiance to my government before I'll pledge allegiance to a flag, because I know who the government is. They are a living, breathing, walking, talking, governing body,
Mm-hmm.
just like my country is. A flag is a piece of material. Yes, people died for it. I understand that. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But people also died to keep it free, to have the right to burn it, to have the right to talk about it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would be one of those people that are fighting like crazy to keep the right to free speech. I may not agree with you,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll defend your right to say what you want to say.
Right.
You and I don't have to agree,
No.
you know?
Right. But it's like also too like that football players that want to kneel for the when they do the little
Yeah,
national anthem.
Colin
That
Kaepernick
pisses
is a
me.
piece of shit. I get it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I cannot stand him. He started all this movement for what? Let me tell you something, okay? You started because of the police, this, police, that. Well, let me tell you something. That national anthem is not for the police, you idiot, you asshole, okay? That was for something different, okay? The national anthem is all that for the people that fought and died for other country that are letting you play football, or that let you play football. Let's put it that way, because you're not playing football anymore.
Mhm. I
And
agree. I'll give you
let
that.
you make
Absolutely.
millions of dollars while they're
Mhm.
making measly dollars, have horrible health care while you have the best health care in the world, and
Mhm.
they're coming home with less limbs than what you have,
Yep.
and not able to do as much as you can that you can.
Amelia, can we say spoiled brat?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Spoiled
spoiled
asshole
brat.
brat. I'm
I'm going to show you a picture tomorrow
Yeah.
that's going to put everything into perspective. It's already lined up.
And you think you can kneel? I'm going to have some more words for you, and I'm sorry,
Well,
Pastor Steve. I'm
I'm
going to
gonna have to
curse
pull her back,
tomorrow.
folks. I might have to mute her microphone tomorrow, folks.
Yeah, you might,
Um,
Pastor Steve. Sorry, ahead of time, but that's a show tomorrow show.
Oh,
But
well, you
anyway,
get where do you get Pastor Steve started? Are you kidding me?
yeah,
They'll
that's
have to go
tomorrow's
to
show.
confession after tomorrow. I
Yeah,
don't
Pastor Steve. I'll ask for now.
right? Yeah, you better bless yourself. I'm telling you right.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. It's been a good one.
Mhm.
Meal, what else we got coming up? We got freedom of speech. What else is coming
And
up?
the 24th and 25th, we're going to have questionable celebrity deaths.
Oh,
a
yes.
two-parter.
Did they die the way they told us they died, or was
Maybe.
there something else afloat? I'm still questioning.
Oh, there's 6 of them that we're going to
I'm
be
still
questioning about.
questioning Elvis and Tupac. I'm
And
questioning Bob
Marilyn
Saget.
Monroe.
We
Bob
just did Bob.
Saget.
Yeah, I'm still questioning that one.
And
I
H
think there's a
is
lot more than
another
that.
one.
Anne Heche is another one that doesn't add up.
No, it doesn't to me. And Marilyn
She should
Monroe.
have got. She should have got. Ended up with a bump and a bruise.
Yes, and there was a lot to the way there was a video that surfaced to the way when they put her in the ambulance, kind of thing.
Do you have that video? Can you get that so we can show people?
I believe I can. Yes, it's still out there. Mhm.
Okay, good. You do that and
Mhm.
and send it to me, and I'll
Okay.
edit it up.
Okay.
Well, listen, folks, it's been a great night. It's been a good one. Good.
Yes.
Wow, you ran an hour and 40. Wow, hour and 45 minutes.
Mhm.
See that's called time traveling, folks.
That is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you tomorrow night for Amelia Pitbull Chapman, the mouth of the South. I am the Mad Dog,
Mhm.
Angelo DeCipio. We'll see you next time on America's Popcast. What's the buzz?
Yeah.